Hey guys, welcome back. So, this week was the US election week. So, it was normal for us to expect lots of volatility in the market, lots of movement in the market. So, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you guys how I prepared for this week, the things I was looking at, or the moves I was anticipating coming into this week, how I prepared for these setups. I took some of these setups and I had good returns on this. So, I'm going to do a trade breakdown. I'll show you the trade setup and everything, and I'll do a withdrawal as well, so you can see me just getting the profits from this account. So the first thing, let me show you guys. So I have right here, this is the NAS trade. So I had one trade on NAS 100 and I had another trade on the S&P 500. But before we do the trade breakdown thing, I'm just going to show you guys right here. So I sent this trade out in the community thing, and if you look right here, this was on November 3rd at about 6:18 p.m. my time, and I told the guys in the community I'm going in on this trade. So I had the NAS buys and my stop loss was right there. I had the S&P buys as well, and I had my stop loss right there. So if you look at the trade call thing, I'm just going to show you guys I'm going to show you the trades right here. So this is it right here. So around 6 p.m. the same time, November 3rd, I went in on the buys for NAS 100. And if you look currently, this is what we have on NAS 100 like right now. So I made plus 3.6% on this move. And if you look at the S&P one as well, right here, I send out this trade as well. So you look at the entry time as well. So around 6 p.m, just right around the same time I send the call thing out on the group thing, innit? So I had this right here. So I went in on the buy right here, and I was just expecting prices to take off areas like this. And price did exactly that. So you look at it, on this one I made about 4.13%. So I'm going to go back on the charts and show you guys certain things, and then we'll do like a trade, we'll do a withdrawal on the account as well. So let me look at this right here. Alright, so if you look at the S&P trade, and if you guys remember, I did a video before and I told you every time I'm in a drawdown, there is a setup I'm looking at, there is a play I'm looking at. I call it like the rescue play kind of thing. So this is like the same setup kind of right here. But if you watch the market focus thing, you'll realize this is a play we've been looking at. We anticipated this already, and price just played out. So the reason I'm showing you guys this is because once we knew the elections was coming in and stuff like that, and I was anticipating lots of movement in the market. As a swing trader, I wasn't coming into the market on the set day and trying to go in and trade and look for setups and things like that. I knew there was going to be lots of volatility. I knew there was going to be lots of movement, but I had to position myself in already like days before the move even played out. So November 10th was, I think, my time, 6 p.m. my time, that was around Sunday. So I got in on these positions on Sunday. So look at this on the daily time frame real quick. Look at this on the daily time frame. So this is a play we've been talking about for a very long time, I think a couple of weeks now. So we've had this swing and everything, and we're still expecting that at some point in time this is going to move to the downside. But while waiting for this to happen, you can look at this on the 8-hour time frame. This is the S&P 500, and I said this during the market focus as well. Look at this on the 8-hour time frame. You have this, you have a swing, you have price pulling back. And if you look at this, you had a swing, you had a pullback. This is a swing, and this is a pullback or a consolidation. It depends on how you want to call it. So prices eventually, if you respect this area, we had this psychological level here of 5,700, and we had the trend line. So this right here, this is a pivot point. This is another pivot. So I was expecting a pivot around this area. So when you look at an area like this, you have this psychological level, you have the trend line. You're waiting for price to come back, and you're looking for a setup. So I have a playbook. So this playbook has different setups I'm looking at, like different plays. And once I saw it, I knew I was like, this is easy. I just had to go in, and I was expecting prices to take out these highs. If you look at it right here, I was expecting prices to take out these highs right here, and price took out this high. So look at what's right here. You have a psychological number of 5,900. So we left from around 5,700, and we just went all the way through like 5,800, and now we've taken out 5,900. So the principle remains the same. You wait for price to move again to the upside, giving you a pullback or a consolidation thing, and you look for the next move. So it's very easy, like the plays are very easy, but you need to understand. So one thing I don't do, I'm not waiting for price to pull back to the trend line or the psychological level and I take trades off of those levels. I'm waiting for the pullbacks to come in. I'm looking for a specific thing. I'm looking for certain things to happen, then I go in on these trades. So I need to see price doing certain things. The delivery has to give me a setup I've been looking at, and it's just a play I've taken this setup many times, so it's quite easy. You can look at the same thing on NAS 100. So look at it on NAS 100. We had this area right here, we had a psychological level right here, price pulled back and stuff like this, and you can look at this from higher time frames as well. So you had this hesitation around this area, and then price took off to the upside. Now another important thing I want to show you is how price pulled back to like close to the stop loss part. So price came really close to the stop loss, and I told the guys in the group, just like be patient. So if you look, we had like a communication thing. So I'm going to show you right here. Let's see. So you see, once we had the trade in, all through the week we just kept communicating in the group and talking and just discussing about the trade setup. And I think that's the most important thing. If you know your setup, if you know what you're looking for, sometimes it's just very easy for you to go in and then you sit and wait for price to do what it has to do. So we, like all through while the elections was going and everything, we were just talking. So you can see here, this guy here said the market is stalling and stuff like this, and this is like right before the election thing started moving the markets and stuff like that. But we kept watching price and we were like just being patient and everything. So sometimes you need to be in the community as well that helps you stay during pullbacks, during drawdowns and things like that, because it keeps you focused, it keeps you grounded and stuff like that, and you know there's a lot of people looking at the same setup and it makes it easy for you. So that's it. And you can look, we just had fun discussing the community thing and sitting through the drawdown as well, and eventually price took off. So that's something you can look at, and I'm just going to show you this real quick again. So looking at this back on NAS 100, price is still moving to the upside, and you can look at this from higher time frames as well. So this right here is on the 8-hour time frame, and it's the same move you're seeing on the S&P 500. So you have, this was the move, you had a pullback, you had this move right here, and you had a pullback. So this pullback to this psychological number of 20,000, and when you look at this, price is going all the way to the upside, and that's why we took this trade. So there's a setup thing we're looking at, and that's how we got in on this position. So it's quite easy, but you need to understand, you need to know what you're looking for. All right, let me show you guys on my prop firm dashboard. So this right here is my 50k account on Blue Guardian. So I'm going to show you a few things on this account. So let's look at this real quick. So if you look like right here, so I made some profit on this account because I was in a drawdown. So that's why you've not seen me making withdrawals on this account. I was in a drawdown on this account. So I was able to bring this account back to like break even. And I was just, I think, above like 1% or maybe 1.2%. And I requested a payout, and they told me I need to have about 3 days where I close positions of about 0.5%. So when I looked at this price on, let's say, the S&P, let me just show you something. So when I looked at this setup on the S&P, and on Sunday I looked at it, and I know I did the market forecast already on, I think the video was out on Saturday. I looked at the setup. I knew if I go in on this position, worst case scenario, I'll probably walk away with like 1% or 2% on this setup. So I was ready for this already. I knew what I was looking at. So I went in on this position on Sunday, and I just let price play out. So once the election things came out, the results were coming in and stuff like that, movements started occurring in the market, and price started moving. And I think this is very important. If you swing trade, you want to go in your position, like you want to go in like a couple of days before the anticipated move. And for somebody who's scalping or day trading, it might be different. So you might go in on the set day or like the session you're trading. But if you're swing trading, it's very important you take your trades in before the anticipated movements are coming. So around Sunday, so we got in on Sunday and price took off as the days just unfolded. So let's go back to the prop firm thing and I'll show you the stuff. So I was in a drawdown on this account, brought the account back to break even, and I've said this countless times. When I go into a drawdown thing, yeah, I'm not really worried because I know the setups I'm looking at, and I know it's quite easy to come back from a drawdown, and I understand my system, I understand the way I'm trading. Now I'll show you a couple of things on this account. Look at the consistency right here. When I have losses on this account, you see 0.96%, so let's just say 1%. There's a 1% loss right here, 1% loss right here, 1% loss right here. So there's that consistency with what I'm risking, and that's why when I go into a drawdown, I know how to get out of a drawdown. So you won't see me just going in say 1%, 3%, 2%. No, there's some consistency with what I'm doing. I trust the process, I understand the system, I understand my setups very well, and I know it's like a probability kind of thing. So I'm not trying to make like crazy returns on this account. It's just a 50k account thing, isn't it? So you can't just go on you expecting like 20% return on a single trade. You put in a lot of stress on that account. So when you look at this, my risk just remains the same. It's around 1% every time. And then so sometimes once the trade is playing out, like you look at this ones right here, I didn't get to like the target point, and maybe the structure wasn't aligning properly, and then I'll close it. But when you look at it over time, price is going to give you those setups again. So close this at 2.93%. This wiped away everything like in terms of the drawdown thing, and then 2.19%, and now I'm eligible for another payout. And I think this is the right way for you to do it. I did the same thing on the other account. So look at this right here. I'm only trading the S&P on this account. So this account is like, there's no stress on this account. I'm not trading gold on the same account, NAS on the same account, S&P, BTC, GU. No, I have a single account for this pair only. So I have a single account for the S&P. So everything you see here is the S&P 500. So you look at this accounting, yeah. I've been trading this account for like what, 120 days. I've not blown the account. Why? The reason is simple. I'm not stressing the account. I'm taking just one pair, like on this accounting, I have just one pair, and I trade just one pair on this account. So it makes it very easy. There's no stress on the account, and I'm managing the risks properly. And I think that's how you should do it. So if you really want to see some returns or like some growth, manage your risks properly and stuff like that. You need to have systems in play to help you do certain things. So look at it. So if you go through like let's see like previous trades, you see all the way to like what 0709 is to the S&P, is to the S&P 500. So nothing has changed. It's always the S&P 500 on this account. All right, now let's look at this right here. So my win rate right here is like 52%. But if you've been following me, you know I'm around a 30% trader. So my win rate is around 30%. And the reason we're having like 52% right now is simply because I had to close like some of these trades like right here. So I closed some of these trades, and it looks like, all right, those were wins, but those are not wins. Those were like break evens. So there's like lots of trades like that. So I'm right around 30% win rate. That's my level. So it's around 30%. When you look at say the risk to reward, like the average risk to reward, now because my win rate went up to like 52%, because this increased, you had to see like a drop on this. Whenever you see me trading around 30% or like 29-28%, this goes up to about 4% or maybe 3.7. So the average is always around 4% or around 3.7. So I understand these things, I understand the numbers, I understand like there's just a lot about my system, my trading that I understand fully, and it makes it really easy. So I could show you guys the other account, but it's just going to take time. So let's see. I think I can show you guys the other account. So look at this right here. Let's look at this equity curve thing right here. So if you see, so right here we had this, I think I had a payout around here. Let's do this. So I had a payout here. The account you had to do like a reset of the account flat out. Another payout thing came in a drawdown, move back up, a consolidation. Right now we had the break even, and then we've had the payout. So right here I'm taking another payout from here, and so I'm really rushing with this, but I don't want to make it too long. But this is how I believe you should be trading, especially if you don't want to sit on the charts for too long. Look for a strategy where you can swing trade. So just go in, let price play out for a couple of days, and the price is going to do two things. It's probably going to hit your stop loss or get to like your target point. So this is it on this account. All right, so let's just go ahead and do the profit share. So I'm going to go to the profit share thing right here. So on this account I'm going to do, let's look at this. I'm going to request a payout on this account. So let's see, request payout. All right, cool. So this account, which one is this? All right, so the max I can take, so this is the, all right, let me look at this real quick. Let me see. Okay. All right, so this account right here, so I have about 1,660, so I can get about, yeah, I can get something like this. So let's go. So I'm gonna do this right here. All right, cool. So let's do request payout right here. So your max withdrawal amount is 156. All right, let me pause this and look at what's happening. Okay, so I think I see the arrow thing. So I have two accounts on Blue Guardian. So one is for like the account I trade NAS on, and the other account is just the one I trade the S&P on. So let's start with the one I trade the S&P on, so which is this one right here. So it's going to tell you the maximum amount I can request right now. So I'm going to do this, and I'll copy this. You know what, I'm just going to put 1,660. So that's the max I can get from this account, and this is going to be, I think, the fourth withdraw on this account. So the prop firm guys have to return my, how do you call it, the challenge fee. So I'm going to do 1,600 on this account, and I want it to rise. So that's 1,660, and that's the max I can get from this account right here, 1,660. So I'm going to click on confirm, and let's see. I hope everything is correct. All right, let's do confirm. So you can look at it right here. It says success, so that's done and over with. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other account. So with this other account thing, yeah, because I just came back from like a break even, and I think I have about 0.3% increase on this account, and I've traded just NAS on this account. So I just recovered like from my drawdown thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do like 156 on this. And I hope I can get the 156. I don't know the minimum, by the way. So let's see if this goes through. Right here. All right, so it went through. So I've done the request for both accounts, and I'm just going to sit and wait. I'm going to talk to the guys on Discord as well, just so they can return my challenge fees as well. And I think when you combine everything, that should put me up about, say, I'm at $2,000. So I'm gonna wait for this to get processed and everything. And while waiting, guys, I just want to tell you again, look at your setups here. Look at your setups, be patient, take your time with what you're doing, spend time on the chart, and just take time, don't hurry, and everything plays out if you're a little bit patient. If you stick to your rules, stick to your system, don't switch it up like every now and then, and don't hop from one person to another trying to learn everything. Look for things that's very simple. I use trend lines and I use psychological levels. Now look at this trade. It's a very simple trade. Look at this move right here, and all I had to do was put a trend line thing and put a psychological level around that point. Look at the interaction thing around that area, and it made it very easy for me to take the setup. Now if you have another setup you're looking at, let's say SMC or Wyckoff or harmonic patterns, you can take the same thing, but you don't have to insult another person's approach to the market simply because you're not using it. So this is something that works for me, and I've done this setup over and over again. I've done trade breakdowns over and over again using the same approach, and I've done my market focus using the same approach. So if you just want to get insights on how I looked at this setup, like from the market focus thing, just watch the next video or watch last week's market focus and you see everything. So it's going to be the next video that pops up after this. So the next just watch it, like see my thought process and see what I was looking at. It's probably going to help you just gain insights on what I look for in trades. And if it helps you, man, just it's something you can practice, then go test it. So make sure you watch the next video to see the market focus thing and you understand the trade breakdown perfectly. Alright guys, so that's it for me, and see you during the next one. Bye for now.